This is The Arts, a podcast that highlights the arts department here at Mount San Antonio College, with your host, LaReina Petersen. In this very special episode, LaReina gets up close and personal in an exclusive one-on-one interview with the new president of Mount San Antonio College, Dr. Martha Garcia.
All right, welcome to This is the Arts podcast. My name is LaReina Petersen, your hostess with the mostest, and it is an honor today to welcome Dr. Martha Garcia, Mount San Antonio College's 10th president and the first female president that we have had in 50 years. Welcome, Martha.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and grateful for the opportunity.
Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this moment since like springtime. No joke. Since I first watched the elections when you were, fighting for this position. So it's really cool to finally have you here.
That's awesome.
So I do want to know a bit about your story. Where you started, where you were raised, where you went to school. Like, did you always know you wanted to be the president of a college? Like, I need to know.
Well, it was never my plan to become a community college president. I want to start by sharing a little bit about my childhood and extremely grateful to my parents. I'm proud of who I am and where I come from. I would not be here if it wasn't for my journey.
Right.
And I am a proud daughter of farm workers who came to this country under a mixed status. When I was born, my parents decided that they were staying in this country, and they are both from Mexico. Mother completed 9th grade, father completed 6th grade. They both started working at a young age.
Wow.
And when they got married and they had their first child, and I'm the second child, and they determined that they wanted a better opportunity for their children.
Right.
And had the courage to come here, and I'm grateful for that every single day because I never imagined I would be able to achieve the level of success that I have.
Right.
But
and if they didn't make those moves back, before you were even able to decide anything, like they set you up for success from a young age. So that's amazing. Does it just warm your heart? And I feel like that's a tearful moment, especially when you accomplish each of these endeavors in your life. Like, wow, is this really happening?
Definitely. And I take a deep breath as I think about them and the journey and the courage and knowing that my mother is no longer here. It is important that I continue honoring not only the courage, the decision, but also their legacy, her legacy.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a small city of Brawley, California. It currently has 23,000 community members. That's the population.
So everyone knew everyone, right? Yeah, you go to the store, you're like, I saw your uncle next to this person yesterday. Yeah, that's where rumors begin. Small towns.
Yes, yes. And I received my education at our local public schools. Very grateful for that. Grew up in a community that frankly, we experienced many challenges, financial hardship, but also a beautiful family, like united, and parents who taught us that they were working hard and that there were sacrifices being made every day because they wanted to provide for us and a better opportunity for us. So grateful to that community, grateful to the public education system.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was attending the schools that were less resourced based on the side of the city that they were on, understand those dynamics. And obviously that's the reality, but truly grateful for the opportunity and what was taught. I was accepted to 2 universities, and the only reason why I didn't apply for those universities, it was my high school counselor, and I bring her up, Ruth Soto, because she was the one that first female as a teenager who reminded me that I had potential. And
Those
that I was
people are so important. Oh my gosh. And I don't know if you take that into how you run things today, but being the head of a college like this, you are so influential to so many young souls and minds below you, like you can be that person for people. Like you have that spark, pursue it. So if that person wasn't there for you, like these are all factors into how your story has become this. So that's awesome.
Yes.
And that was high school that you met
That
her?
was high school. She was my high school counselor.
Very cool.
And from freshman to senior year, she completed those 2 university applications for me. She's the one that reminded me I was university bound. And the first time I interacted with her, it's important to share this because it may be the experience of some of high school or even younger students. I was in a history class, and I believe it was 10th grade. And I would complete my work, and I would start socializing with the classmates around me. And the teacher sent me to the counselor because I was disrupting the class.
Disrupting.
And she asked me, she she said, "Are you completing your work? The teacher says you're completing everything. You're doing well, but you talk all the time in class, and your peers are not completing their work because they're socializing."
Yeah.
What she did was, I told her I'm completing everything. I'm doing well. And she said, "Is it too easy for you?" And I said, "Well, I guess it is." So she said, "Well, now you're going to be enrolled in college prep courses from now on." And I remember the following semester, she transitioned me
Oh,
to
wow.
college prep. But what she was doing was preparing me for a pathway that was university bound. And I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she was looking out for you.
Yes, she
That's
was.
awesome. Oh my gosh, she already knew. She's like, she doesn't know, but I know. So that's nifty. Did you enjoy the college bound classes?
I mean, they were more rigorous, but they were fine.
Yeah.
It was,
And obviously your brain needed extra
yes.
stimulation, hence the talkativeness.
Yes. And I'll go back to sharing that she completed those 2 university applications because what she not only reminded me was potential, but being a daughter of a Mexican traditional family, being the only daughter, I have 2 brothers. She called in my mother and she convinces my mother that I should go to the university because I've been accepted to San Diego State and Long Beach State.
Wow, which one did you choose?
None of them.
You didn't choose either of them. Okay, what'd you do?
We went home that night. We went home and she shared with my father, "La consejera dice que nuestra hija debe ir a la universidad." The counselor said that our daughter should go to the university because she was convinced by the counselor. And this was during dinner time. I remember was making homemade tortillas. She sets them on the table. She tells him that. And my father, I adore him. He's calm. I love my father. He said, "Mi hija va a estudiar, pero lo va a hacer aquí." My daughter will study but she's going to do it here. And that here meant the community college.
Oh.
It was the only opportunity for me to pursue higher education.
So you took that path.
I did. And I'm so grateful to Imperial Valley College because if it wasn't for that college, I would have not pursued higher ed.
Oh, wow.
I share that because for many our very first generation college families or college students, pursuing higher education continues to be a family decision. And sometimes we may not understand, but reality, there are many reasons why, whether it's financial, whether it's they're place bound, there's reasons, whether it's tradition. And for me, that was my opportunity to pursue higher education. I went to Imperial Valley College. My goal was to pursue a career in law enforcement.
Yeah, I saw that on your resume. Criminal law justice, right? Yeah. So you were going to be a lawyer at first?
I was, my initial thought was that I was going to be a customs inspector, that I would be at the border.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I was an explorer, so I had the opportunity to essentially participate in experiential learning, which I spent time in the border with customs agents. We did some training. I went to a 10-day academy, started truly learning about the position from age 14 to 18, and completed the associates in social science, transferred to San Diego State Calexico campus. There is a San Diego State satellite campus in Imperial County.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for that site, then I would have not been able to continue on to pursue a bachelor's degree. And at that moment, when I was graduating from the college, I was pregnant. I transitioned to complete or start my upper division courses as a junior, and I give birth to my child the first semester.
Wow. And then you kept going.
I kept going.
You kept going.
I
Yes,
kept going.
Resilience.
Yes, I kept going because I needed to provide the best possible
Yeah. If
life
anything,
I could for my child.
it's more motivational at that point. So it's not just you're doing it for, I feel that 100%.
Yes.
So how long did this continue? From this moment, from the birth of your child and that moment, where are we in a timeline here?
So I gave birth to to him. His name's Jerry. First semester as a junior.
Okay.
I complete bachelor's the 2 years. So I completed those upper division courses in 2 years. So bachelor's degree, I was 21 years old. And I'm going to share the transition from a criminal justice law enforcement pathway to becoming an educator, because I really believe I was meant to be an educator.
Yeah, and you never know that you're meant to be it. Like you said, this was not on your path. You did not think this was coming. So yes, how did this happen?
So I had registered for a master's in forensics, and I'll share another key interaction in my life, going back to people that have made major contributions to my pathway and to my life. I was volunteering at the California Youth Authority, which we had one in El Centro, they're no longer in existence. There was a counselor there who essentially told me, why are you pursuing, I had registered for a master's in forensics, and there was only 2 positions available in that entire county. And he said, why are you doing that? Because there's only 2 positions in this community. You have a child. Your support system is here. So what are you thinking? Why wouldn't you pursue law school? And I left home that day, and I left to go home. And that conversation resonated with me, and I decided that I was going to change from a forensics master's degree to one in educational counseling.
Wow. That one conversation switched it over for you.
One. And it wasn't with a counselor. I mean, it was a counselor for California Youth Authority, which was, that institution was created to help transition young men 13 to 25 who had become justice involved and were being prepared to transition back to the community. So he was a counselor there, not a community college counselor, not an educational counselor. And that decision changed my life. And the opportunity of becoming a part-time counselor is where I fell in love with the profession of serving in the community college system, and where I realized I belong here. This is what I want to do, and I want to continue just serving in this role, not ever thinking I would become a college president.
Yeah, well, life is crazy like that, isn't it?
It is.
You get what is meant for you. And this is a big deal. President Scroggins was here for what, 12 years?
Yes.
So these presidencies aren't like a regular United States president where you only get 4.
Yes.
D-
Yes.
And you have been a president prior to this, right? You were a vice president and a president.
Yes. So the college that gave me provided me with my educational foundation in Imperial Valley College, that's where I became a counselor, and then I ascended to the presidency and became their first and only female president.
Wow. So this isn't your first time having titles like this.
No.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Breaking barriers. I
Yes.
love this. I love this for you. It's amazing.
and then was there almost 22 years and transitioned to a second presidency at College of the Desert and spent a couple years there, and here I am now. So I just feel fortunate. I feel, and I know I'm fulfilling a purpose every day, but I
Yeah.
also have a responsibility that is beautiful to inspire our students, to support our team, because we have extremely dedicated team members, but also like inspire those that are potentially thinking about growth. A future college president. I know that
Yes.
this college is preparing a future college president.
That's crazy to think about. But yes, and I mean, obviously positions like this don't open up every day. When you found out that you were in the running for this, what did your heart feel like? Like, did you know it was going to be a really big endeavor? Were you like, "Oh, I got this. I know how to do this." Like, how did you feel?
Well, the process is it's a structured process. It's definitely intense. And I've applied for 3 presidencies and have been granted the 3 opportunities. And I'm grateful for that.
3 for 3.
Yes,
You should play some lottery
because
tickets.
it's not common. There's people that apply many times before they're granted an opportunity,
Yeah.
and there's people that are never granted an opportunity. So obviously it's education, skill set, experience, all of it combined. But what I will tell you that's so special about me applying here, and even though there was no guarantee, it was very competitive, that I knew like this is where I need to come next. I came to visit this college for the first time ever on January 21st. It was a Saturday. And I'm pretty sure it was the 21st because I remember that clearly. Um, and there was no one on campus. There was a performance in the theater. I walked around the campus. I wanted to feel just the energy.
Yeah.
And even though I didn't walk into buildings, it was beautiful. And it just the fact that it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat between the library and Mountie Cafe.
Yeah, right in the grassy area.
I sat on one of those benches.
Uh-huh.
And I was truly reflecting and then just really thinking about, is this the institution? Because there were several positions. And frankly, I could have applied for others.
Yeah.
I could have promoted to a chancellor position. But this was the institution. Like after that, I had researched before coming who our students were, who is our community, who is our team,
Yeah.
like in general, what are the values? And that's the reason why I became interested, is because I just felt like this is the college where I belong.
Yeah.
Just like the students, because we want our students to feel like they belong. I wanted to feel like I belonged.
I'm not going to lie. I just, since the beginning of the semester, I have seen you around campus pretty frequently. I don't know if you always catch my eye, but I have seen you pretty often. And I'm like, I love that I see you out here because it shows that you are out with our community. You're trying to bond with the students, and it's a big deal to see you out there. You know what I mean? Like, is that a priority for you to make sure you're involved? So like even the food drives that we do, you were out for what were they? The podcasting club type thing when we have the big clubs outside and all the banners all set up. You were out there. I see you all the time. I love that.
Yes, it is a priority. I want the students to know who their president is. I want them to know that I'm here because I care. And I'm here because I want to help our team serve our students as best as possible. I want to make sure that I'm accessible to students. This role and none of the roles exist without our students.
Right.
And it's important to remain centered. And we can't, in my opinion, can't remain centered if you're not engaging with who you're serving.
100%.
And trying to understand their perspective.
Yeah.
And it is the reason why it's a priority. And also, frankly, I receive an infusion of energy when I get to interact with the students. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's awesome to hear because, you know, like I said, connecting is a really big thing here on campus. I remember it was the very first week of the semester, I believe, when you were doing the burrito thing down by the student center. I had no idea. I just saw this man walk by with a burrito. I'm like, I want a burrito. And so I go down there and it's like, yeah, you get a burrito and you get to meet our new president. And I was like, wait, hold up, what? And I was so excited because, like I said, I had already, you know, imagined meeting you. And that's what kind of brought this opportunity here. That day when I met you, you had discussed some things that you were working on. I know there was something with the Black community here on campus that you were starting an organization for, or you were working towards something like that. What kind of student organizations are we working on in the moment?
Well, what I will say that are priorities, and what you described, that opportunity is pop in with the president, and every month we.
Oh, you do one every month?
Yes, because and
Oh.
it's as you shared it is me being accessible to students. And meeting them where they're at, not expecting you to come to see me.
We're at the student center.
You know, where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, and I do have open office hour, and students do come to visit, but I think it's demonstrates to you all that I'm here to meet you where you're at, and it matters. It matters to me. But priorities, I think in general, it's important to share that I have a tremendous concern about ensuring that we provide the best that we can when it comes to basic needs, and we have amazing services. Because I realized and have experienced food insecurity myself as a young adult, that we have many students that are experiencing challenges even just to come to campus.
Yeah.
Even to access food, to access safe, reliable housing. These are situations that are frankly extremely difficult, but yet the students have enough hope and continue to come back to us.
Yeah, well, those are the, you know, vital sources that you need to just be a functioning human. So if you don't have home and you don't have food, how are you expected to learn properly? So I think that's really awesome that our campus and our college provides so much of that for the students, because we want you to be healthy. We want you to be happy because we want you to have an education and to go out into this world and be successful, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't do that when you're stressed.
We want them to be able to learn. How could a student learn if they haven't ate all day?
Because that's all you can think about. And your stomach interrupts you every 10 seconds too, which is never fun.
So basic needs is a priority. Definitely the support. And I love that we have affinity groups. And you mentioned our Black African American. Obviously, we have, not only do we have the center, but Emoja, Amend, but really to create a sense of belonging for our students in general, and to celebrate the beauty of diversity.
Which we have so much on this campus, and I absolutely adore it. Like, it's crazy to see, like, who was it? There's the sign language group that I see all the time. And I'm like, I want to learn sign language just so I can, access a whole nother field of people here on campus because there's so much. Our population is huge. Don't we have like 50,000 students?
Yes. So I could tell you last semester we had 70,000. That
Ooh.
includes our continuing education students. So we
Yeah.
don't see all of them because we offer courses to and support courses, not only do enrollment courses, but support courses to high school students and our older adults. So our entire student population last semester was 70,000. Currently, we are at 57,000, but we're
Wow.
expecting to grow based on the fact that our students who participate in continuing education, non-credit, will continue enrolling. So if you think about the impact, how amazing is it when I'm thinking about the power that we have at this institution to contribute to social and economic development?
100%.
It's incredible.
And if you think about like our students coming out of here and they're getting jobs right off the bat, like our radio program specifically, I know every student who has graduated in the past year and a half has a job in the industry. Like we are producing the world,
Yeah.
which is really exciting because, that's what college is for. We're here to make things better. Speaking of making things better, I feel like that's what presidents do. We're here to make things better. So a lot has happened this semester. I want to know about your biggest struggles and your biggest accomplishments so far.
Well, definitely, and what has been the biggest struggle, and it's been public and it's very sensitive, are campus safety incidents, and extremely concerned because I want our entire campus community, our students, the employees, to feel safe.
Right.
This is a safer campus in comparison to other higher education institutions, but we are not accustomed to experience the type of incidents that we have.
Right.
So that has been the greatest challenge because it created fear. We're addressing it as best as possible, and there's more work to do, but we've taken actions to demonstrate to the campus community that this is a priority
Yeah.
for us, for the board and I. And we've hired additional temporary employees. We've ensured that our emergency towers are functioning properly. We're offering training, self-defense classes. So what I believe, and I moderated a forum myself to listen to students, share what we had done, but what I believe that was the entire situation has resulted in is, and all of you also seeing the type of leader that I am.
Yeah.
And it's not the only time, obviously, but it's one.
This was a moment where, people demanded action immediately, and rightfully so. Everyone was frightened, I feel like, campus should be a safe place for everyone to come. You should be not worrying about things like that. So I do understand the frustration in a lot of students and the fear that they all felt. But no, I agree. We've seen we have, what are they? The security? What are they called?
Our temp
securities walking
yes.
around. I'm like, just seeing them, it makes me feel better. But no, it was a scary time, but we also got to remember to be vigilant and be there for each other and keep our eyes out because it is a community. We are a campus. We are here together and we should be looking out for each other. And I think that's a big problem because we're all kind of just a little self-focused and we're looking down at our phones all the time. So these acts that happen around us, we're not in it and we're not there to help protect each other. So we need to be more vigilant in general,
Yes.
And it should, I don't know. It's a very, very scary topic. I talked to a lot of students on it, and I'm glad that we're making moves and making the campus safer. It did seem very out of line, though. Like, it wasn't normal for us because I've been here for years. And, yeah, there's been a couple incidents here and there, but nothing like what we saw those first few weeks. Like, definitely out of pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in regards to the greatest accomplishment, so far I feel that the fact that I walk around campus and students are starting to recognize me, and they'll say, "Oh, just today I had one come and say, Dr. Garcia, I met you 2 months ago or so," but or others pointing out, "Oh, there goes the college president." That to me is a great accomplishment because I've been here 4 months because we have such a large student population. And I want the students to know who I am.
Yeah.
Not only know who I am, but be comfortable approaching me.
100%. That's
And
how I feel. Like
like
when I saw you walk up, I was like, oh, yes, my friend.
so I feel yes, we definitely have been recognized and that I is credit to the amazing team that works here as #1 college, as top 150 community college in the United States, Aspen Institute, which is the community college excellence recognition. That one is one that's personally important to me, and I know we could only accomplish it with the commitment and support of our team to and in the success of our students, because that recognition is based on student success. And we could send to become top 25, top 10, and #1. It's very competitive. It is the most prestigious recognition in the United States for a community college.
But we're like in the running,
Yes,
right?
we
Like,
are.
that's nuts.
Yes,
Okay.
we
How
are.
cool is that?
So
Um,
all those recognitions are amazing
yeah.
and credit one to the team, but also to the students and their commitment and perseverance.
Right, because those numbers got to come from somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, no, my cousin, she goes to UCLA. She's a teacher, and so they go and do little forums over there, and they talk about our college, and they say how amazing we are. Our speech and debate, our
Yes.
radio, everything that we participate in, we are bringing home flying colors and amazing numbers, and that says a lot about the teachers and the community here on
Yes.
campus. So be very proud. You're sitting on a
Yes,
nice little
yes,
school here.
and I come to enjoy all this because all this, there has been many years of hard work to get us here, and I come to just like be a part of an amazing institution.
And you're getting a very newly updated version of it too. Our new spaces and facilities here on campus are beautiful so far. This was one of the first new buildings that was made. So we've been kind of chilling in this fancy one for a bit. But the fact that they put the new student center right next to us is so lovely. My French fries don't get cold by the time I get back here. Just saying.
Well, in walking into that space to see that it's being utilized in the way that it is.
So many students are in there.
Yes.
So many students.
Yes.
It's like a literal community when you go in there. I'm like, oh my gosh, it really feels like a school. And you know, times have changed. A lot of people are just, looking at their phones all the time, but I see so much interaction in there and people working on like projects and the group rooms that they have, the meeting
Yes.
rooms that are up in there. Beautiful,
Yeah.
great space for projects and everything to really help with the whole learning together, because learning is a group project. You can't do it alone.
Yes.
It takes support. It takes multiple minds. And when you have it like that, everything gets so much better. Like even with your story, all the support that you have received over your life, the love and people telling you, you are it.
Right.
And here you are.
Yes, yes. And I want to make sure we continue doing that for our students, for future leaders in the system. It's important, and I feel I'm privileged and I feel a responsibility to pay it forward, but it's not a responsibility that feels heavy.
Right.
It's really
It's a
like
gift.
it's yes, I've been granted so much and never thought I would have the opportunities that I've had, and I have worked hard. But if it wasn't for someone taking time to remind me, I believe in you. You have potential. Go complete that training. Go volunteer here. Meet with this person. I'm going to call and schedule a meeting. Talk to them. Ask about what they're doing. How did they get to where they're at?
Right.
If it wasn't for them, I would not be here. I would not. Because the odds were of me achieving this level of success, the probability was, frankly, minimal.
That's what I was thinking. Minimal there. And it's sad, but it's true. But also it shows the blessing and how no matter where you're from, no
Yeah.
matter your family's
Yes.
upbringing, anything is possible. And never give up.
Never, never give up. Never,
Oh my
never. We
gosh.
believe in you here at Mount SAC. We believe in our
100%.
students. And I was at an event on Saturday and briefly spoke, briefly, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But once I was done with my remarks, I come down and the event was over, and I have a young woman come. And she shared with me she's from a community that is experiencing greater challenges within our service area. And she said, listening to you makes me believe that no matter where I'm from, I can. And I said, of course you can. And she shared with me, I have my bachelor's, already completed it. And I'm like, well, you could continue on. You've already completed a major milestone, especially as a first
Huge.
generation college student.
Yes.
And I want to continue inspiring like our students, males, females, however they identify. Like, I want them to know that they're brilliant, that they can, that they will, but that it is important to not give up. Sometimes it's hard. There are days that it's difficult, and there are days where I, as a student, thought, I can't do it anymore. I really can't, especially as a single mother with a baby. But I continued, and it is like it has changed my life, my son's life, and I know it definitely will change future generations' lives just because I continued to persevere, even through challenging times.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The whole story is just, ugh. If I was you, I would literally cry all the time because it would touch my own soul. Like being that impactful for people, especially in this day and age, it's just so hard. There's so many people who feel alone and like they can't do it. And the world is getting a little sad out there. So to see inspiration and you breaking those milestones and, building this world for you, your son, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm very, very honored to have you here on our podcast. You said you've done a couple podcasts before, right?
Yes.
Heck yes.
Yes.
Well, I want you to know this studio is open for you whenever you'd like. And I would love to offer you your own podcast here on This is the Arts podcast. We do it pretty monthly. I'm going to say monthly. So yeah, you could come in, you could talk to the students. If you have any special forums coming up, any special anything that you want to, let out. That's what podcasting is for. We bring people together, and this is our own community college podcast. So you are welcome here anytime to come in, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. This was amazing.
Oh, I'm
Your
so glad.
energy is beautiful.
Oh,
Like, I just feel like I was talking to a friend, and I think that's what's important in the talent that you have and in the industry that you are serving in.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
That's why I'm in it. I like
yes.
connecting with people. That was my thing when I was trying to figure out what I even wanted to go to school for. I was always a server, and I was like, what was my favorite part of serving? Talking to people, making connections, and I'm like, what's the best way to do that? Radio. Oh my gosh. Yes, give it to me. And then I found out Mount SAC had an amazing radio program. I didn't even know that was a thing. I completed it. It would have been done sooner if COVID didn't happen, but I'm glad everything worked out the way it did because I have so much radio experience working here at the college, being able to help other students figure out their love for radio. It's been an absolute blessing. And now I'm out in the industry and I'm still doing my part here. And, just like you, I feel like everything kind of fell into place how it's supposed to be. And it's not done.
Yes. No,
We're
it's
still
not.
young.
No,
We're still
it's not done. No, you have definitely you're going to continue growing and giving in the way that you are, which is beautiful. So thank you for your energy. Thank you for the invitation.
Of course.
And I definitely am interested in having additional conversations.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, anytime. And we'll see you again soon here on This is the Arts Podcast.
This episode of This is the Arts was written and produced by LaReina Petersen, with executive producers and staff and faculty advisors KT Fort and Jason Schiff. This is the Art is a production of the Mount San Antonio College Radio and Podcast Broadcasting Department. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and guest, and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Audio 8 Ball, 90.1 FM KSAK, Mount San Antonio College, or any affiliated bodies.